Alrighty, boys and girls, well, the market is crashing. Is the bull market over? Another video. Is it over again? A lot to talk about here in today's video, guys. Low time frame, what's happening locally here with Bitcoin, and especially, are we still in a bull market? What should be done right now? So, a lot to talk about. Stick around and let's get into it. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Here, guys, now another low on Bitcoin. Another is it over video, right? Another what's going on. So if you've been here, like most of you right now are regulars in the space, you're starting to understand. I'm seeing a lot of people actually waking up and starting to understand and all that stuff, which is very good. Right now, this range has been very powerful, has done its job pretty well, which is like this Bitcoin ranging moment. It's like the worst time ever. It's like max pain when Bitcoin is ranging, because that causes a lot of people to be emotional. It plays with with people's emotion. At the highs, people call for 100k, at the lows for 12k, at the highs 100k, at the highs 100k, and then at the lows 12k. What this does is it gets people buying the highs and selling the lows until they have no money, and then the market actually reverses back up. So the question, or like the $1 million question, is, are we still gonna keep going higher, right? That's the question. Well, you see now, guys, this whole thing happened because the whole economy is not doing great, right? Like Japan now, their own stock market is down. The S&P, the US stock market is down. The whole economy is down, right? Why is that? It's because the Fed had the rates too high for too long. Money was not cheap. If you were a business and you need a $10 million loan, you had to pay 5% on that. And if you needed to invest that on somewhere, you needed to make at least above 5% in profits to actually repay back your loan and be a profitable business, right? So that's how this whole business cycle works, right? And since this been going on, that should not be a good sign for the economy, but the economy had been going up, right? Like the economy kept going up, companies kept doing well until recently, right? Until recently, like a few days ago, we had companies showing weakness by having very low earnings, right? The earnings were low, which means this 5% here is going to start to affect them. Like their loans, their repayments is going to be way higher now, or like they're not going to meet their loans, right? Which is called something like defaulting or whatever. It's a whole kind of topic. But what we need to know from this is, when the Fed sees this, they start cutting this, they start lowering this number, right? They start lowering the rates. And we are not supposed to be on this upside, right? Like this uptrend here that we've been going on, we are not supposed to be in it, right? A lot of people were thinking 30k was it, right? For Bitcoin, because of this exact same reason. We're not supposed to pump, but we did, right? Thank God, right? Like it happened. We're not gonna say no for a pump, right? So the actual bull market, or the actual real booming economy, happens when this number is zero, right? Which means almost money is free, money is cheap, money is free. Like if you're a business, you need $10 million, you basically pay nothing back in interest, which means you still can break even in your business, or at least you have a 3-4 years of like, you could still be underwater for a longer period of time, which means you still can get cheaper money, which cheap money also flows down to economy doing well. Like people get paid more, people have more money, and people buy more stuff and buy more stocks and buy more cryptos and stuff like that. So now what we're actually waiting for is, and it's been the talk for this whole time, right? Literally since 2023, we've been hearing recession, because everybody kept talking about this thing here. They've been focusing on this. We need rate cuts because this is not gonna end well. We need a rate cuts, the recession, and it's like people are asking for it, right? And even though that we have an uptrend, so as soon as we're gonna start to have the number going down, the US cutting rate, right, we're gonna see a different story, right? Like that's what's supposed to start the bull market, right? So overall, it's not over. This is just a dip, right? But I'm seeing a lot of people understanding this, like everywhere on YouTube now, big influencers, everybody. This is the dip. This is it. Everybody's like waiting for that, like, and me as well, right? Like yesterday, I updated my people on Discord, told you I'm starting to buy ETH. I'm gonna show you here. I'm gonna also talk about Kaspa, Pepe, all the other meme coins that we are on. So just stick around, and you'll see here with ETH completely retraced 2024 move. So 2024, if you were late at anything in 2024, now you're finally early. So ETH retraced completely the whole move from 2024. So it started here. This is like November 2023, December 2023, but ETH started pumping like non-stop, and then now it retraced it completely. So if you were late, it's like you were gifted now 7 months of your life back, right? The market gave it back to you. The market told you, all right, so you've been a good boy now this whole time. Let me give you back your 7 months that you wasted buying tops. Now you have the dips, right? That's usually seen as a bullish thing. That's usually is the bottom, because like a lot of funds, a lot of institutions work like that. They work with year to year kind of returns, right? When they invest on something for the long term, they try to see, all right, so the stock market can give me maybe 5% yearly, or Bitcoin can give me 20% yearly returns. And for ETH, I don't know what the number are, but people see this like that, right? They see, okay, if I buy ETH year to year, how much should I expect in returns each year? And that's why people look at this yearly open, yearly close kind of deal, or gains, or how much they can get back from that. And since now ETH is an institutional asset with the ETH ETFs now trading live and all that stuff, right? This is a golden entry on ETH here, right? A golden entry. And ETH is basically the leader of this whole thing, like altcoins. You've got Bitcoin, and then you got ETH that is leading the altcoins, because it's all based on ETH. Everything is built on ETH. Everything follows ETH. Their value is against ETH. And as soon as we're gonna see ETH trending back higher, right? That's gonna be it, right? For altcoins, for everything. I know a lot of people don't care about ETH, right? Like you don't buy ETH, you don't want a 2 or 3x or 5x, right? You don't care about that. You're not an institution. You're not trying to make 20% per year returns on your investment. You're here to make 100x. That's what matters, right? Or that's what we're all here for. So the second thing is, people ask, right? So what is the time frame here? What are we looking at? When should we start the actual bull market? So the Feds are expected to cut rates, right? By September, right? By September, and they're probably gonna do that now, because now we're seeing the stock market crashing. We're seeing a lot of things happening. So they're probably gonna cut in September, maybe August, but possibly September. So when they cut, we don't get a straight up bull market straight in, right? It's usually takes some time. And a lot of people compare this here with 2019, right? So if you look at this distribution or accumulation here, it really looks like 2019. So this is 2019, right? So you see this, we had this downtrend here, like this local downtrend or chop or whatever happening here. So Bitcoin was doing the same thing like today. A lot of people are comparing this too. So remember this, guys, right here. Remember that and look at it here now. So if we go back here, we have it here again, right? We have this local downtrend, or like a bull flag, or whatever you want to call it now. It's happening here. So it's almost similar if we look at it here. Now, if you disregard, this is the virus dump, right? This is a black swan. This is something that we possibly can compare to today, as the market is freaking out with the recession and all that stuff. This was an actual recession, right? Now, this is just a freaking out or expectation of recession. While we are getting close to the rate cuts, the rate cuts actually happened right after this huge collapse, because the Feds, or they wanted to print more money, right? They needed to print more money to save the economy, because people lost their jobs because of what happened, and they needed to do that, and then started that massive bull market. It's now today. This is most likely going to happen after this one dump here. So we could count this as the actual low from this time in 2019, which was this low here. So this low here, since then we did another high, but if we disregard this, we actually went sideways again, and that's the biggest pain here, right? People don't want that. We did another few months of sideways, and then the bull market, as the Fed starts printing, as companies start getting free money, easy money, everybody starts to slowly get rich, and then we see this massive run up. And this still lines up well with what I've been expecting, right? We've been expecting around September, October, which also, that my reasoning was also the Fed's cutting rate, and around September we should still see something like that, a push up, but don't expect a pump straight away. That's what I've been saying. This time here, we're just accumulating, we're just buying and holding stuff, right? Like today, I want to show you this actually. You see this on Economy Exchange. Brett ETH is one of the best, one of the top gainers as usual, right? Like here, when the market is down, you want to see which assets, or like especially when it comes to low market caps, because this is where the 100x's are and 200x's. You want to see which altcoins are holding the strongest, or low cap coins are holding the strongest. And you can see Brett ETH is one of the strongest, holding well, one of the top gainers here, with Hoppy as well, right? Hoppy at a good entry, Brett ETH at a good entry right now. You see, like the whole market is like that, but the scope of this video, of today's video, is mostly talking about what's happening here, right? Or what should you expect? Because I guess people want to know when this like time frame counts, right? Like time frame is important. And you see this, guys, it's still gonna be ranging for a while. Don't expect anything like the actual real pump, right? It's gonna start November, December, and then we're gonna start to actually see the massive pump, right? That's what we're actually expecting, and this will line up very well with 2019, right? 2019, if we disregard the bug, right? The bug here, it's all started here. To remind you, people in 2021 here, they all wished they bought here, right? So everybody now here back in 2021 wish they bought exactly where we are at now today. Just to remind you, so the bull market is still ongoing, and we're still gonna have a bull market based on actual macroeconomy and what's happening. We're still expecting this, right? Because like the people are calling for lower in bear market and stuff like that because they keep looking at this uptrend, right? Which is unjustified, right? Like why we've been pumping. This is not normal. We've been on this 5% rates and stuff like that. We're not supposed to pump what we did. So thank God. That's what I say. We don't need to explain everything that is happening in the market for the exact reason, right? Like we don't want the exact reason. We don't need it why it pumped, but it did, right? So it's good. Thank God, right? It did pump. Now you have your second chance, right? Right now, it's at its 2024 low, right? If you were late in 2024 and you bought the top, now is your second chance. It is at its lowest point since 2023, right? Or since end of 2023. Like God gave you another chance. You've got back 7 months of your life. You've got it back now, right? It got handed to you. If you missed the whole 2024, or if you bought the top on 2024 and you wished you were back here in 2023 and you felt bad and you blamed yourself for being late, well, now you got it back, right? It's a gift. Like that's why I was seeing this, and I'm buying more ETH here basically. So to get into alts and what's happening with alts, so a lot of people are asking a lot about Kaspa and what's happening with Kaspa. It's the same thing like ETH. If you look at ETH, it gave you 2024, the whole retrace, the whole move gave you the yearly open as if 2024 just started. Literally, we went back in time traveling with ETH now. So it's the same thing happening with Kaspa. So you see Kaspa here, this lows, this is 2023, December 2023. In fact, in November 2023, Kaspa was at the same price that we are at now in Kaspa, right? The same price, literally the same price. New all-time high back in the day, November 2023. Kaspa is at it right now, right? Literally standing at it. I wouldn't be surprised to see it going back at 2024 lows. So doing this whole thing, right? This whole thing back down here, right? Especially with utility coins that institutions or big whales or people that, as I explained, like to work with numbers, profits, yearly gains on each assets that they own and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised to see it going down here, or if it does, right, it might just bounce back from here. It's actually very strong, looking strong, but if it goes back here, I would say that this is gonna be a very strong support on Kaspa, which is around like that 9 cents, right? Just if you come back here and you see this chop here, this is it. This is the part where the year started, right? January 2024. Many people wish they were back in here, and now the price is going there possibly, but now it's at its 2023 high, right? Which is funny enough, right? Complete, if anybody that bought the 2023 high is now at break even, right? And it goes to show, right? It goes to show that patience is key, right? Patience is key. When things are pumping and everybody's looking at them and everybody want to buy them, usually it's not the right time. And you see how funny that is that Kaspa now is back at 2023 high, where if you were just sitting on your hand and if you like and actually like this, right? Kaspa, and not just because everybody's talking about it, but you actually liked it and you just waited and wait for that moment to happen. Look at that now. You see that? It's back to it. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it back here. Now we're seeing the whole market retracing, right? Besides low caps, for some reason, low caps are holding strong. As I've shown you now, Brett ETH is holding strong. But if you go to the market here, you see Pepe is at 3 billion, almost 3 billion, down 41%. Let's actually look at the chart on this. And you all know I'm big on Pepe, on the Pepe verse and everything like that. It's still all playing, right? As we just seen, the bull market is still gonna play out. It's nothing has changed from my thesis, because my thesis is not based on what's happened day to day, because I know the economy at some point they are gonna have to cut rates, and that moment has arrived, right? And they are gonna have to do it. And this one actually we're gonna have the real euphoria, the real pumps, because people are gonna get rich, companies are gonna get rich, people are gonna be able to borrow $1 million for free, right? For no interest, right? And they're gonna throw this back into the market, right? And probably you heard stories in the previous bull market, people will borrow a lot of money to buy Bitcoin, right? Because they would think they will do a 10% on Bitcoin, repay back the 5% to the bank and keep 5%, right? That's what people do usually, right? People will play along with loans and stuff like that. It's not something I do or advisable, but institutions do that, right? So that's what this whole thing, like my thesis is not based on day-to-day red, green, market's going down, market's going up. I just know that we're going to have easy monetary policies and Fed's cutting rates, right? And I've been talking about this for a long time. Fed's cutting rates, and we're going to actually start. So Pepe as well is like Kaspa. You see, like it's breaking this the uptrend that we've seen recently. One thing with Pepe, which is a sign of strength, you see is Pepe here broke out actually in March, right? March 2024 broke out from this whole accumulation, right? And broke the previous all-time high, which happened in May 2023. So a year later broke out, and now it's almost at these prices where it was at in April 2024. Pepe 2024 was still here, and now it's here, right? So year to date, Pepe is still up 6x from the opening of this year in 2024. If you bought Pepe, you are up 6x, right? If you bought Kaspa, you are at break even, and almost anything else you are down, right? If you bought early 2024. So this is a very good sign to see, right? With meme coins in general, because I do think still they're gonna be the biggest gainers. They're holding the strongest this far, right? Everything, even though we see a lot of blood everywhere, but they're holding the strongest, right? And they follow the market, right? If you're down on any meme coin right now, especially the top meme coins and stuff like that, you got Turbo as well, down $200 million in its market cap. You see that they are following the market, so there is no need to be going looking at each meme coin, but you see now that they all follow Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin now is slowly, as I'm recording here, is slowly going back up. Right now it's 54k. That's a very sign of strength, right? And what we notice here is Bitcoin is bouncing off this, right? I wouldn't be surprised to see this, guys. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin going back to 68k, right? And this lines up perfectly with 2019 as well. So in 2019 we've seen also a recovery on Bitcoin from these lows here. We've seen a recovery, a 45% recovery on Bitcoin. Now it's not gonna be a 45% recovery because now the price is much higher. It's much harder to move the price, but it's gonna be a 30% recovery. This will also bring all these coins here, meme coins and altcoins, back to their previous prices, right? Pepe was also about to break out here. So this whole thing, guys, is very normal, or this is something to expect if you're new to the crypto space, right? This is something you wanna expect, right? This is something that usually happens. We're just trying to make the best bets possible and the best expectations possible, right? And as just shown you guys, it all comes down to that rate cut. Like literally that's what's all stopping us now from that massive bull market. Anything here, guys, this meme coins giving these entries now here are actually giving finally a chance to people that missed out, to actual whales that missed out on this large altcoins, to get in finally, right? To get in, to participate, to hold price as well. And we finally reverse back up, right? Which is gonna happen, right? I was just waiting for Bitcoin to do that. Now, one last thing before we end this video. Now, as I said, guys, look, altcoins, they depend on Bitcoin or ETH. Basically, they depend on ETH. Then ETH depends on Bitcoin. Bitcoin depends on the stock market. And it's all related, right? The lower you go, the more risk you're taking, right? So this thing here is called the VIX, or the Volatility Index, like the S&P Volatility Index. So it's very important, and you'll see why. This marks usually bottoms on the stock market and on Bitcoin. So whenever it spikes, this means there is a lot of volatility. Volatility is just a nice way to say dumps, right? But I'm gonna put here, I'm gonna add the Bitcoin chart, and you'll see magic here. So if we add Bitcoin, and we're gonna just look at it from that 2019 perspective, from that time, and look at that now. Whenever it spikes back up, it's kind of signals a bottom here. So here it's spiked back up here. It's marked a bottom on Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin bounced back. But this was after a massive bull market on Bitcoin, which we did not witness yet, or we have not witnessed. And we see again here when it spiked a little bit, we had the actual bottom on Bitcoin. That was it. But here is especially, and this actually bounces the highest when we have peak fear, peak recession fear, or whatever is happening, the bugs or alien attacks or whatever. This spikes back up here, right? This is your black swan event chart. And when it spiked back in the days in 2019, it was the bottom on BTC, right? This was this bottom. This was this bottom here. So you see it spiked back up. This was the bottom, right? And it was, that's it. See you. It was bull market then, right? And then look at that now here, guys. This is it. It's after a long time. So this is since 2019, and since 2019, it's a 5-year long period period, right, where we've seen this VIX or volatility index or the dump index not moving much, and then finally spiked back up here, right? It spiked, and that was a bottom on Bitcoin. That's why it's very likely, but this is a bottom on Bitcoin. Is it a local bottom, which means we're just gonna bounce back up on Bitcoin, like we're gonna see another bounce back up then down again, or is it that's it? It's like the bottom of the bottoms, and the machine is gonna get back to the office tomorrow, and we're gonna start printing money and stimulating the economy? Possible as well, right? We have two scenarios, but both scenarios are telling us, based on the volatility index, that this is a bottom, right? And we should expect a move upwards, right? A move upwards. Now, as I'm still speaking, I'm still recording, Bitcoin is still going higher, right? I'm missing out on a trade right now, but just to update you guys in what's happening, right? I stay calm. I'm still accumulating the same stuff I'm accumulating, especially now ETH, because that's a part of my big large portfolio for the long term, something that I hold forever. And the whole market is gonna retrace back up, right? The whole market is gonna retrace back up based on Feds to start cutting rates. So the things remain the same, right? We're not expecting a bear market. This is not a bear market move, right? Unless really, that says we're super unlucky and the economy is just gonna go to shit, which I doubt, right? Because they're not gonna let that happen with the elections coming in, right? I don't think they're gonna let that happen. The second thing is war, right? Like a lot of people call war as a bad thing, but let me remind you here. So this was March, February 2022. This is when the Russia-Ukraine war started, and we seen Bitcoin pumping, right? And it pumped Bitcoin here. A lot of people were freaking out, but it actually pumped Bitcoin. But overall, we've seen a retrace back up after FTX and everything like that. But it was already done with, right? It was actually a downtrend here that started this whole thing. But just to tell you, right, like I don't think they're gonna let the economy collapse because of the elections. They're gonna have, or they're gonna be forced to start printing, which is the main thing that started the previous bull market here, right? This whole thing started after they started printing. Now, this is not good news if you are a retail, if you hold US dollars. This is not good for you, right? For those people that swap their ETH to USD and hold USD and stuff like that. USD doesn't do well when we have printing machine on, right? Like the USD inflates, we have inflation on the USD, and it's not a good news for retail people buying, for day-to-day buyers. And that's basically what caused the risk assets to skyrocketing, is people are hedging against inflation, which is another talk for another thing. And that's the main thing here, guys. I hope this was helpful. You can join my Discord, link in the description. It's free to join. And thank you so much for watching today's video till the end, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.